All right, y'all. Welcome back. Welcome back to your favorite WMMA podcast. It's hashtag CB99 Talks. We're on episode 198. Man, we getting deep, man. We getting deep. Almost at 200. Almost at 200. Two more shows, and we at 200. What's going on, BJ? What's up, Axel? What's going on, y'all? We back again. Been doing this for a while now, man. I mean, shoot, almost at 200. I always got to say that every episode because it's just like, man, time keeps flying by. You know, jumping on here, more fights, something always going down. But yeah, man, I'm gonna be on here for a little, not too long tonight. Actually doing this one here just to kind of talk about a few of the fights, and got a special guest. Got a special guest. Somebody wanted a link. Somebody hit me up and they wanted a link to discuss this fight coming up in 2 weeks. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. The guest is y'all see him in the chat. It's Axel. I was like, oh, okay, okay. Axel want to get on and talk. He want to, I guess, talk about this Valentina Manon fight. And you know how I do. Look, it's a show where we just talking about women's mixed martial arts, period. And if you want to talk, fine. Yeah, of course. You want to give your thoughts. That's how we do over here, man. I mean, first of all, people always gotta understand, like, I do this because I'm a fan of the sport. Like, I'm not doing this because I'm a fan of one particular fighter. Though I do have my favorite fighters, but it's not like my show is based on hating on, one particular fighter or loving one fighter where, we ain't gonna, we can't have conversation about the whole game. I love the whole sport of MMA. So uh yeah, anybody want to ever talk, that's all we do. I don't deal with no crazy drama and none of that junk anymore. I mean, I never have, but I'm just saying, like, over the past month or so, it's kind of been nice and just quiet, how I like it. We just discussing fights, and most of y'all are staying on topic now. So that's good. And yeah, we can have a good chat if you just stay on topic, stop losing your mind because your favorite fighter lost, and don't get mad at me when I talk the truth. So yeah, what's up, BJ? Axel? Yeah, Axel in the building now. You ready? Marcus, what's up, man? And Two Beats, what's up? Two Beats, yeah, Two Beats. He'll jump on too. Two Beats count. He's been on before. Um, 200 should be the Val Manon live. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. I was trying to see if I could squeeze it in right because I might have something going on where I'll still be able to call it live, but man, we'll see. We'll see how it works. But yeah, we're gonna do something. We're gonna do something though. I don't know, for number two, for 200, might have some people come on if they want to. If y'all want to come on, I mean, hey, that'd be nice, right? But yeah, before Axel joins or whenever he's ready, just let me know whenever you're ready. But I want to talk about these fights from last night real quick. UFC Kansas City was all right, man. Like, UFC Kansas City, it delivered in its way. I mean, it wasn't no pay-per-view, right? It was a fight night card, and they kicked it off right. I know I was taking a little power nap, and my power nap went a little bit over because I was busy Saturday, right? I got home and I just took a little power nap in the afternoon, woke up at 6:30, and three fights are already going down, man. That's what was crazy, man. I know BJ texted me. He was like, dang. And I already knew what that meant. When BJ texted me that first text at like 6 o'clock, that already told me what happened. I already knew what happened. I was like, oh no. I was like, somebody got knocked out. Somebody probably got knocked out in the first round. So I didn't watch the fight yet. So I just kept playing it out. And I went into the next fight and I was like, oh man, okay, wait a minute, hold up. This is the third fight. I was like, okay, Jacqueline and Pollyanna are going to the cage. So I was like, wait a minute, the other fight already finished too. So I was like, hey, we got another knockout. Okay. But it was just crazy because I was like, 6:30, and yeah, three fights deep, and we already had finishes. But it's special whenever WMMA, is giving you finishes like on a consistent basis. And I mean, the fights have been good too. Actually, I'm ready. I'll let you talk about the last fights. Okay. Yeah, the fights have been good though. Like the fights have really been good, even if they gone the distance. So I can't even count anymore. Like how many weekends have we had where the WMMA fights have been delivering? Has it been the past 2 months now? All the way back to, I think it was before the Whaley Suarez card, right? Yeah, before the Whaley Suarez card, we had a pretty good showing. We've been having a pretty good showing. I mean, it kind of goes back to that Cachoeira night, that Cachoeira and Josiane Nunes night. And then Sam Hughes, when she was putting on a solid fight against Luciano. So this weekend was no different. I mean, look, shout out to Chelsea Chandler. I know how some people feel, they get mad about how she was acting in the Norma Dumont fight and that whole running thing in the cage. But, I still rock with Chelsea. I just think the truth, though, as far as like her approach in this fight, she has to stop on the offense so much, like she's got to be sharper on the defense. And her last two fights were clear examples of that. I mean, the body is wide open. Whenever you're a southpaw and you have that certain angle against an orthodox fighter, of course their power hand is going to line up. But even worse, this being MMA and not boxing, the power leg kicks, the power body kicks are going to be, they're going to be it's going to be even harder. That's the way I'm putting it, and that's where you could hear the shots landing. That's how I'm trying to say, like the shots are going to be even harder than the right hand. So, Jocelyn Edwards, I mean, I thought that she might have just fought like a safe fight here, but even she saw the opening. I guess she was watching that Viana fight. And how Viana was landing some body kicks on Chelsea. Jocelyn Edwards said, all right, I'm going to the body hard. She was working a nice leg kick. She kept touching the leg, then she went to the body. And then something just woke up in Edwards this time. Something just woke up in her where she just said, I'm going after it. And that's something we rarely see in Jocelyn Edwards. She's always playing mid-range and outside or just sitting there. But this time, Jocelyn Edwards, she went after it. And I mean, how many times in the past, if she had done something like that, she probably would have already won a fight. If she was fighting Eileen Perez or Nora Cornell, she probably would have got something like that. But I think her takedown defense was solid too. Like whenever she clinched up and how she was able to reverse the takedown, she did well in that. So Edwards is showing some improvements here. I think it was a mix of both. I think both Chelsea, like not making excuses, but Chelsea has a rough time making 135. You can kind of see it in her eyes. I mean, that's another reason I think she went down hard from that left hand too, man. Like that weight cut is hard. I don't think she needs to be at bantamweight, to be honest. Like, especially if you're not making the solid weight cuts and you're not living the lifestyle year round. And it's hard. It really is hard for somebody to do that if you're just a bigger woman, but defense was a big issue. Defense was a big issue. She just wasn't using angles, just looking to trade. And you gotta be in there playing chess with Edwards at times. You gotta be. You can't just go in there and think you can swing with her or swing on her like that, because over the past few camps, I think it's finally starting to rub off with her working with Valentina too. XA, what's up, man? Yeah, hold on. Let me look at the rankings here real quick because I want to see what could be next for Jocelyn Edwards. How many wins is that in a row for Jocelyn Edwards now? How many wins has she got in a row? This is only her second win. 2 finishes in a row. And that's why I was saying the other day, this is technically her first TKO finish. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying this is her first finish, but this was her first knockout in the UFC. Her first submission was her previous fight, but yeah, her very first TKO is this fight here in the UFC. She hadn't knocked anybody out, So I was a little surprised on that, but that just shows you, man, if you go after it, you got the pressure, you can make it happen. But those last fights against like Perez and Cornell still got me questioning where she stands. So I'd like to see her fight the loser of Yana Santos and Miesha Tate. If Miesha Tate still continues to fight, if she loses, I think that would be a good fight for her. Yeah, because Jocelyn Edwards ain't even ranked right now. Edwards ain't even ranked right now, so there can't be no rush for her. Jocelyn Edwards ain't even ranked right now. So yeah, to be said, Edwards landed like 3 back-to-back leg kicks in the first 10 seconds. Yeah, she did. It was right there. The leg kick was right there. So she was just, chopping away. Then she went hard to the body and went upstairs. So yeah, I thought that her overall attack was good, was solid. And if she keeps working, man, like she just got to be able to apply what she's doing in every single fight. She got to be more so consistent. Paul, what's going on, man? What's up? He said, how's everybody doing? Yeah, I think with 2 finishes in a row, she still got to show a little bit more. Maybe fight. What's that girl's name? That Russian Ronda girl. She's coming back, but she's got to fight. I think Melissa Mullins. Yeah, Melissa Mullins has a fight coming up. She's rematching that Zalesnikova girl that she fought in a previous organization. Jocelyn Edwards did beat her number 14, right? She did beat her number 14, so that might get her ranked. Chelsea might be out of there. So if that gets her ranked, Melissa Mullins might move up, and Jocelyn might become 15. Yeah, I would say maybe let Jocelyn fight the loser of Yana Miesha Tate, because yeah, the division does need some excitement. And if Edwards can hold on, if Edwards can continue to grow and be consistent, it's not like she's a bad fighter. She's not. Edwards is not a bad fighter, man. Like, I think she kind of has that Lipsky syndrome, man, where they're just inconsistent. You know what I mean? They have that inconsistent. They show up sometimes, and then in the next fight, it's like, hey, where you at? You know what I mean? Like, Lipsky kind of does that. I think Ariane Lipsky, she's kind of a good example of a fighter that does that. They might put together 2 wins, look good, and the next thing you know, they flatten the next fight. So, I think Edwards, yeah, maybe deserves a chance. Like, if she gets ranked here, go ahead and put her in there with somebody like Yana Santos, Miesha Tate, loser, and see where that goes. Chelsea Chandler, man, she's 2-3 now. If the weight cuts are rough, I don't know, man. Like, if she's gonna have a hard time making weight at 135, I don't think that she can continue to make it here in the bantamweight division. That's why they do need a featherweight division. But if she can't, she can still go back to Invicta and work in the featherweight division there until the UFC kind of works something out. Even PFL. PFL is giving out money. So that's why I'm gonna say, look, I'm gonna be honest. Look, if a weight cut is rough for a fighter, and I know Chelsea Chandler voiced that before about bantamweight, don't kill yourself. Don't kill yourself. If the weight cut is making it hard for you to focus on technique, then you might need to leave. I mean, everybody wants to be in the UFC just for popularity, but I mean, health comes first to me. And if I had a rough time making weight, I'm like, I ain't gonna do it, But if you got another organization over like PFL that's giving out money and they have a featherweight division, I think that would be better for her. That would be better for her. So if it's not cracking out here and they decide to let her go, there's still PFL. That's how I see it. Yeah, BJ says it's like they question themselves. Yeah, I just think they kind of question themselves too much, man. They just question themselves way too much instead of just going after it. And I mean, Edwards got skills. She's got skills too, and Chandler's got skills too. Like Chelsea Chandler has skills. Like she's got power, but it's instead of depending on. Shout out the coach. I was listening to his video. Like he said, you can't always depend on trying to go in there and trade. Be Nate Diaz or go in there and try to bang with somebody. I wanted to see her kind of stick the jab out a little bit more and fight. Fight with angles. Counter punches. Because if Chelsea hit you with a counter shot, I think she would hurt you. She definitely hurt you with a counter shot. But it's all about setting them up right. So. We'll see where it goes from here with both of these fighters. But yeah, man, I mean, first round finish, they're keeping it going. And then this fight, man. Let's talk about this one because I didn't even do a video on this one. Let's talk about it, man. Jacqueline Amorim versus Poliana Viana. Well, first of all, I got to put some respect on her name. It's Amorim now, right? That's how they pronounce it. I'm gonna put some respect on her name. It's Amorim, Jacqueline Amorim. You know, since she's out here snatching necks. Wink, wink. I'm taking BJ's word now. We got a new neck snatcher out here. We got a new neck snatcher out here in Jacqueline Amorim. Shout out to Jacqueline Amorim. No, man, I'm seeing some improvements in her game. I know that some people probably thought I was being hard on her when I thought that she was going to just come in here and lose. And I said, no, I just know that her first fight against Sam Hughes is not going to be a good fight for her. I was like, this Sam Hughes fight is not going to be good for Jacqueline, right? Because Sam's got a lot of experience, really good wrestling, and you saw how that turned out. All right. That was a learning experience. But as soon as they put her in there with some other fighters like, what's her name? Montserrat Ruiz, Corey McKenna, Vanessa Demopoulos, she went right back on her win streak. And now she adding Viana to that. She adding a new neck to that. And really, she didn't have to show too much with striking in this fight. I was thinking that she might, and that would have gave Poliana Viana a chance to land her right hand. Like when the first round started, I kept thinking, okay, Viana might try to set a trap and land a right hand and drop Amorim. But Jacqueline, man, she went right for it. You know, she went right for it. You know, level change right away, went right into her element. And Viana's just accepting of these takedowns, man. Like she was just accepting from that first position when they were at north-south position. And then you just see Jacqueline just working her in half guard, putting her weight on her. And, you know, Jacqueline Amorim is strong too, man. Jacqueline is strong, man. I like how she uses her body, man. Like how she uses her body weight. You know, she'll transition from side control, put her hips on you. She's just really strong like that on the ground. You know, she's strong. Her ground and pound still needs a little bit of improvement. You know, I can tell she's working on it, but overall, I can see like, you know, Jacqueline's grappling is solid. You know, it is solid because the work she's been, I've seen like her working, you know, in training, and it's transitioning into these fights. I know Viana's not the best grappler. Like it hasn't really translated too much to the UFC. I know she has a lot of arm bars early in her career, but haven't really seen that improvement. Haven't really seen that improvement down the line. And she was getting worked in the first round. And I mean, second round, Amorim, she just said, boom, let me get another takedown. And Viana was like, sure, take me down. She just accepted it, right? She just accepted the takedown just like that. And even the way she got up, I kind of saw like her face just had a look of like feeling defeat. Maybe she felt the strength of Amorim because there came a point where she just gave her back up. Like she just turned to the side and gave her back up, and Amorim was on her, and then Amorim just rolled her over and just snaked that right arm around. And I could see in like Poliana Viana's face where she was like, let me see how long it is. Let me see if I can wait this out. Let me see if I can escape this thing. You could like get the read on her face, right? She was like, oh, let me see what I can do. And she's like, oh no, I'm tapping. But you know, I want to go back to the first round, man. What was up with Dan Miragliotta this card? Did y'all notice that? Like Dan Miragliotta, what was he doing, man? Like he kept stopping fights before the bell. Like, was he hearing something? I mean, like, what was going on? Like, in the middle of like 10 seconds left, he was like, oh, he kept trying to separate them. And like, Viana's like looking at him like, what are you doing? Amorim looking up like, what are you doing? So what was up with him? Yeah, he kept mistaking the clapper for the bell. I'm like, yo, like, you a professional. Like, where did this come from? He did that to the other fight. So, but anyways, it didn't throw off the performance here. I mean, Jacqueline Amorim, she was in here snatching the neck, and she adds another one to her list, man. So that's 4 in a row, man. That's 4 in a row, 4 finishes in a row. So I think she's due for top 15. What do y'all think? I think she's due for a top 15 now, man. I mean, why not? It's time to get some new heads in there. Luana Pinheiro, she's kind of on the downside. I know she's fighting Tisha Torres. You got Tisha Torres. A lot of these fighters, getting older. We need some new blood, right? Let's see. G Rob is trying to climb up, get a number 9 in Marina this Saturday coming up. That's why, yeah. Angela Hill. I posted up Angela Hill. Matchmaking Monday. Angela Hill. I think Angela Hill's got to be the next one. What about y'all? Because Luana Pinheiro and Tisha Torres are fighting. Angela Hill is free. Angela Hill is the ultimate test. She's going to tell you where you at. She just beat 4 people. She finished them. I think she still needs work as far as like her striking, because we haven't really seen like too much stand up from Amorim, but this is where you get it. This is where you're going to get the test. This is where you're going to get the test against Angela Hill. And man, Angela Hill, she be crushing some dreams. So don't be surprised if Angela Hill survives some submissions in that fight. But that could be a win for Amorim, if she's able to, use her strength on the ground and maybe even withstand some striking exchanges from Angela Hill. So, yeah, go ahead and get it now. I mean, you got 4 wins in a row. Let's get another fighter up in here, see how well she can do. I mean, she's dangerous, man. I think she's really dangerous on the ground, man. Like, not much on like beat 'em up style on the ground, but her jiu-jitsu is very, very calculated, man. Like, I think she's a little bit more dangerous than let's see. Can I say she's more dangerous than Mackenzie Dern on the ground? Mackenzie Dern doesn't have like a whole bunch of finishes, right? She doesn't have a whole slew of finishes like this girl. I mean, this girl's finished everybody except Sam Hughes, right? So I think her mindset is still on jiu-jitsu, but down the line it might change. That's what I'm saying. Like, fight somebody like Angela Hill, and that's gonna make her become more of a MMA fighter. Sam Hughes rematch. Nah, that to me that don't really make sense. Loma, I think Loma needs a ranked opponent herself right now. Ketlin Souza. I mean, one more ranked. I mean, I would watch it, but I think 4 in a row it's fair to get a ranked opponent now. Palostri just lost her last fight, so that really wouldn't do much for her. Haurigi, that's kind of messing up some of the other girls' chances of getting ranked too. So I think if you put 4 in a row or 3 in a row, go ahead and get your ranked opponent. Give her at least give her a stand-up fighter. I think give her a stand-up fighter that's going to make her test her stand-up game. Fatima Klein is fighting Melissa Martinez. She's fighting Melissa Martinez, I believe, in the next coming month. So, nah, that's a good fight, though. That's a good fight down the line. Save that for when they get ranked. Save that for when they both get ranked. I think Fatima Klein is better on the feet, but on the ground, man, that's going to be killer. That's going to be some killer right there. But I think Klein will be prepared. I think Klein is more of an MMA fighter. I think she's more closer to being well-rounded. Ketlin Souza, that might end up like Karine Silva, like when Karine Silva submitted her. So I don't know. I'm tired of seeing Loma fight unranked fighters too, man. Give Loma a ranked fighter now. Who do you think would win in the scrambles between Jacqueline and Fatima? That's tough. That's a tough one. Oh, man. I'm going to give the edge to Fatima, I think. But Jacqueline, man, like when she moves on the ground, she can move. She moves. I think she's pretty good. I think she is pretty good. Scrambles, yeah. Stand up, I would favor Klein, but when it comes to the scrambles between them two, I don't know. Jacqueline, she gonna reach for her ankle too, man. So she gonna be reaching for an ankle or a knee, and you got to be quick. So I want to see how Fatima will handle somebody with that kind of jiu-jitsu in this, in this division right now. But yeah, that was a good fight. That was a good finish. You said she crushing cans. I mean, hey, what else can we do? I mean, that Angela Hill, we got to test her, right? You I think Loma and Sam, to me, they deserve some ranked opponents now. I don't want to hold Loma back anymore. Loma done fought. Hold on. How many fights have Loma won? I ain't gonna hold Loma back because Loma deserves a ranked opponent too. Because Loma been in the UFC for, yeah, Loma won 4 in a row too, man. Loma won 4 in a row. Has a win over Virginia Fry and Sam Hughes and Denise Gomes. At least she beat some decent fighters. Yeah, Loma's actually beat better quality fighters than um, Jacqueline. But to make her fighter, that wouldn't be fair. I think she deserves Loma deserves a ranked opponent too. But Jacqueline, Alexa Thainer and Alan Carr. Ooh, Alan Carr been stepping her. Alan Carr strong now, man. Thainer, she got some powerful kicks though. That's a good fight. That kind of remind me of like a tough house fight. Like if they did a strawweight division, they need to do a strawweight division. That's what they should have done. They should have did a strawweight division. Like Thainer and Alan Carr, that remind me of like a tough house fight or something. That'd be a good fight. That'd be interesting. Like let's see how strong Toledo Alan Carr is, and she can get her to the ground. That would be interesting. But yeah, I definitely want to see Fatima Klein's next fight come. I think I favor Fatima Klein in this Melissa Martinez fight. I know Melissa Martinez is more of a boxer. If it goes to the ground, Let me go back up here. Paul says, so what happened at the end of one of those rounds watching live? I noticed something weird, but didn't go back and watch it again. Did the ref stop a round too early? He tried to stop it too early. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Dan Mergliaga, he was off, man, because he did it in 2 fights last was Saturday. Yeah, he kept hearing the clapper and thinking the round is over. XA said UFC and they need to part away with her. Maybe she can 100% do force on her OnlyFans since she likes to post more than improve in the octagon. Yeah, between her and Chelsea this weekend, I mean, we had some good finishes, but some of these fights are going to decide who stays, I think some of these fights are going to decide who stays. All right, so let me see here. I'm going to put this link right here because I know got a guest. Axel wants to come in here and chop it up, talk about this coming UFC 315 card. So anytime you're ready, Axel, there it is. What's on your mind? We can talk. Got about 20 of y'all still in here. And let y'all hit the like button. Y'all enjoy talking. Hit that like button if you want to hear Axel. I put that link there. Just click on it, Axel, anytime you're ready. And till then, I'll just be talking with y'all in the chat here. BJ said Rodriguez after Robertson smokes her Saturday. Rodriguez. Oh, okay. You say, okay, Jacqueline versus Marina Rodriguez if she loses to Jillian. Okay. All right. Sachin said Klein will be in the rankings soon. She is too good. Yeah, I hope so. I am a fan of her work, and I'm a fan of how she's growing. Like, everybody thought she was just going to come in and be some type of BJJ one-dimensional type of fighter, but no, she's not. She is a well-rounded fighter. Axel said, could you click on the link? You can just click on the link, Axel, because I don't even see you because I didn't even hit. Once I see you, I can invite you in. Yeah. Yeah, tomorrow. Oh, yeah. Tomorrow we're gonna be on the show tomorrow. Yeah. Just wanted to get on here because I know Axel wanted to jump on here, speak on this fight. Yeah, just click on the link and okay, there he goes. And now I'm gonna add you. All right, y'all. So got a special guest in the building. Got Axel in here. What's up, Axel?
Hello, could you hear me?
Barely.
I'm doing well, and you?
Good, good. I'm doing well, man. What's up, man?
I'm doing well, I'm doing well. Hey, so I need to practice my English now. It was a while I didn't talk in English.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
So, thank you for having me and yeah, to talk and debate with me. And yeah, I was listening your last video about Manon and Valentina, and I was thinking, yeah, it will be a great opportunity to discuss about game plan for this fight. And for example, about doing a fighter description and a path toward victory, something like that.
Oh,
So
hang
what
on.
is
Let me turn up my volume a little bit. Okay, what were you saying about the Manon and Valentina? I had to put my headphones on.
okay? So I was telling you that I was listening your last video this weekend about Mano and Valentina. It was very interesting. And I was thinking about, yeah, it will be great to debate, discuss with you about game planning for this fight. Like about talk about description of the fighter, the path toward victory, the weakness, strengths, and etc.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, what do you think about Manon's style, how it matches up with Valentina? Like, what do you think she can do different than some of the other fighters, where some of the other fighters fail?
Mm, I say I prefer give you a description of Mano
Yeah.
about his style, about her style, notably about her striking.
Mm-hmm.
So Mano is mostly a sopa, but I think she got her start when she was very young, but in real life she's right-handed. And her style is karate and boxing and kickboxing, which is very frequent in France. So in the male fighter, you find this style very frequently. Not really in the female, but in the male you find this style very frequently. And compared to what Valentina say, it's not really Savat. She's not a very Savat influence. You can see more Savat influence in Mexen. Anissa Mexen have more Savat influence, or maybe Nicola Alexi Barboza, the previous one champion kickboxing. He has more Savat influence than Manu.
Mm-hmm.
And regarding what she can do differently, she's her distance management. She's very good at managing her distance in a kicking range and karate range. And she has very elite footwork. So she kind of circle very well, not let the opponent pressure her, targeting her. And she's a very good kicker.
Mm-hmm.
She's your psychic. Well, everyone knows her psychic and stop kick, but she has a very good middle kick and a high kick. So the kind of high kick you find in karate. And the main difference compared to the other fighter, I would say she's very versatile because the other fighter I saw in WMMA, notably in the flyweight, they are unidimensional or the striking. So Mano can adapt to her opponent, be very versatile. For example, she can be a pressure fighter with karate blitz. She did that on a fight with Richie and Leonardo. She can box from the outside and circle and in and out with explosivity. She did that against Maya and Bueno Silva because she know Bueno Silva and Maya have more as puncher, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
she does that to avoid to be hit by them. And she can be also a counter striker using her check hook and retake the center. She did that a lot against Blanchfield. And she can be also tactical and technical. She can have this kind of battle and try to use find the angle, a trap, and avoid to be punched but punch the opponent. She did a lot of that with Rose and Chukagian. She kind of stay close to the boxing range and try to set trap and etc. So I think that kind of thing is describe her as striking. So are you agree with that?
No, I do agree that Manon has used different styles. Like, I believe that when I first seen her fighting before she was in the UFC, I thought that she was really, even before she was in the UFC, like she was really aggressive, and I like that, because it was kind of different than what a lot of girls were doing. She was able to always like throw some good combinations and move, and even now, like I like her check right hook. Um, I guess as of lately, I've been wanting to see her finish people more, but I can understand like as the levels change, the finishes don't come, So
Yeah, I agree.
I'm just kind of wondering like how is she going to get Valentina's full respect? Like, do you think she's going to have to focus solely on boxing like Grasso did, or do you think she's going to have to wrestle with her a little bit?
I think you have to mix wrestle with those also. But
Hmm.
I think that you have to do is there are several paths to our victory, but our main path to victory, I think, is she have to not Valentina get in the rhythm, lead the tempo,
Hmm. Oh yeah, I agree with
and
that. Yeah.
she have to circle, but distance, circle, and in and out to hit Valentina. And I think she have to, she have to work on her. I think she did that, but she have to work on her punching mechanism because I think she can be more powerful on her punch, but because she has at the beginning a karate technique for her punch, and on karate you're mostly doing point fighting, so you're not looking for power, and she need to develop work on boxing more. And I think since the Bueno Silva fight, with our trainer, she start to work more on that. So
Mhm.
maybe now she will be more powerful. And during our training camp, there are fighters who are saying that Manon it hard, and some of the fighters get hurt, leaving the
Mhm.
camp. So I think she work on that.
Okay. I mean, I've noticed like Manon kind of. It seemed like she kind of holds back, but when she does hit you, I see like the mark on these fighters' faces, like Rose or Aaron, like
Yeah,
whenever she's like stepping back with the check hook, like I see Aaron's face, like her forehead is like just swollen or red. But I'm just
I
kind of
agree.
wondering, like, how would that be if she sat down on her punches a little bit more? So
Yeah, me
yeah, I
too.
definitely think, yeah, I definitely think if she fighting Valentina, she got to make Valentina respect her.
Mm, yeah, I agree. So I was talking about our strengths about our striking, but there are some weakness. So I think she is vulnerable to head kick. You know, before one of the main weakness is when she keep a transition, for example, where she cage wrestling, etc., and there were transition. She doesn't. Before she used to not put her hand up, and get cuffed by a kick, a head kick. And now she saw that, but she kind of when she get hurt, she relax her body and never put her unless she try to disengage. She relax her body and she's still in a boxing range, And the
Yeah.
girl used that to kick her in the head. So she have to work on that,
Mhm.
to keep your hand up. And when you disengage or when you get hurt and etc. Not that in the boxing range or kicking
Right.
range.
Right. That's the thing I'm always calling with it. Like, I think mostly what she's bringing to the table, and that's what people always disagree with me, is like, I think what Manon has, like, it might have not been tested on a high level like Valentina's. Like, she hadn't fought no Amanda Nunes or anybody like that, but everybody that Manon has fought has made her better. But that one thing, man, like it can be a big downfall because that's something I teach in boxing, is always like keep your hands up no matter what and don't pull back. And
I agree.
yeah, once you've seen that sign happen, maybe 2 or 3 fights, that got to tell you something, to say, hey, like this is something we need to work on. That's what I'm just hoping they're working on that. Oh,
Mm.
just want to say we got a two beast. I guess he wanted to speak
To,
speak on
to
something too.
speak.
Hey, two beast, what's up, man?
What's up to this?
Well, he's in here, but AI 2B.
Mike,
Yeah, there he goes.
Mike muted. My bad.
How you doing, man?
I'm all right, man. Just chilling. Wanted to talk about women's MMA.
Okay.
Okay.
So what is your take on this fight so far, man? Like on some of the things that Axel's been talking about as far as Manon's style and her skills. Like, how are striking matches up with Valentina's?
It's hard to say, man. Cause it's kind of like everyone that Val has fought up until this point. The only exception would be Grasso. Like when a stand-up fight has like occurred, she's gotten the better of him. And then on the flip side, Manon, same exact thing. Stand-up fight, she's getting the better of everybody. You know, both of them have solid technique. Both of them, you know, they know what they're doing when it comes to kickboxing. Um, to me, the biggest factor in this fight, I feel like, is Manon using that God-given size of hers. I feel like she need to use it, man, because I don't know. I don't know who gets the better of who per se. I just have a hard time seeing Val getting out struck in an MMA fight. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's because of that streak, man. It's the craziest streak in women's MMA, in my opinion, man. It's like every single opponent, she's found a way to take them down at least once. And it's like, I feel like in a straight up kickboxing match, it'd be very interesting. But in an MMA fight, I feel like striking with Val is incredibly difficult to do. And Grasso found out firsthand, like she solved the problem of being able to deal with the body kick that Val likes to do a lot. And she was able to neutralize a lot of those kicks because she turned southpaw, but the wrestling came into play. And then whereas here with Manon, maybe it's not going to be as effective because obviously Manon's bigger, but Val is very smart when it comes to figuring out how to win a fight. Like Amanda Nunes is basically the only riddle she wasn't able to solve. And I feel like size played a major part in that.
Mm-hmm.
But at 125, I feel like it's a different ball game, man. It's just like it's just difficult, man. Like I feel like Manon really should use wrestling in this fight. I don't know that she will, but I feel like she should, man, because it's just a path of less resistance. Because her size is very, like, you seen what she did to Erin Blanchfield.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, man. I feel like she should definitely use her size on her, man. Because in a straight up striking match, the only person that I give a very solid chance in that is Silva. Because that's the only person I feel like that really can match speed with Val. Plus technique and all the other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, but Silva ain't gonna wrestle her. But I feel like Manon, with her striking ability, should be able to move like what's the word I'm looking for?
Like mix it up
Basically
with her, you
slip.
know?
She should be able to mix up the wrestling in there a lot smoother because she's already comfortable striking. Versus like Erin, she's not as comfortable striking, so it's not as easy for her to mix in her takedowns. Whereas Manon, she could focus like 30-40% of her effort in striking and still beat like a majority of people. You feel what I'm saying? Whereas Erin, she got to focus like 70-80% of her like effort in trying to make sure she's safe while she's striking. So it's more difficult for her, but for someone like Manon and plus the size that goes with it, like I feel like she should really wrestle in this fight, man. But I'm concerned that she won't, because Val like to chew up legs, and I don't know how it's gonna go.
And BJ, I think that Grasso and Taylor Santos give us a blueprint how to beat Valentina in striking. I think Grasso finds a way in switching in Sopa to avoid the middle kick and high kick, and also she she find a way to enter the boxing range and throw combination of punch, and that's a very good idea when you face a counter striker. You have to learn combination, not just one punch after one punch. And the difficulty Valentina had against Taylor Santos, it's a Taylor Santos it's a blitzing with power punch. She threw a lot of combination on a blitzing, and that put Valentina on her back foot. And as she has a multi stance and she the weight is in her back foot, so it's difficult for her to back up on the encircle. So she back up in line and get cuff. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a kind of blueprint on the striking. And I think Mano have to consider that. And I think also Valentina on the flyweight never faced someone with a focus as good as Mano or Natalia Silva. This kind of striker, kind of kickboxing. So I would like to see how Valentina adapt to that in the striking department. So and after that, I will say Mano is a complete fighter. Mano will wrestle and she will also can do BJJ and go to the ground. Mano have a very good cage wrestling. She's very good in cage wrestling. And I think Valentina will have issue with her in the cage wrestling. And notably because she's stronger and she has very good technique in cage wrestling. And another the only one thing is that they have a good podcaster like Jack Sack, Open Up Grappling. Notice that Mano is one of the best wrestler of the division. But the main difference here with Valentina is Valentina doing freestyle wrestling in the middle of the cage, and not a lot of flyweight fighter doing that. When they wrestle, they're mostly doing cage wrestling, but freestyle wrestling in the middle of the cage, they're not used to that. And Valentina is very good at that. And Manon have to work on this kind of wrestling to be able to defend that. So that's the kind of uncertainty they are in the wrestling department. And Manon also worked during the training camp with Brianna St. and Brianna St. is a very good grappler. I think she's from Montreal, and she get several she wins several championship in BJJ. So I think the BJJ of Manon is good, but she don't want to show it before because she want to keep uncertainty on her game like that. Other coaches cannot game planning on Manon. It's like can put uncertainty on your game. When she was, for example, striking and using a lot of different style of striking, is to put also uncertainty in the game, making the other coach or the team difficult to game plan against her.
You know, going back to what you were saying about like Santos and Grasso kind of having that blueprint. I mean, really, Manon to me, she kind of has like she could kind of pick her poison in this fight because I think Manon is stronger than Tyler Santos. So she could either go that route with trying to grapple and cage wrestle to slow her down, or she need to make sure her hands are sharp to maybe work on her timing to try to put pressure on Valentina and land some hard shots. So landing that from the southpaw stance, that right hook is still effective. Nobody can really southpaw is a hard style to adjust to. I don't
Mm.
care. Like southpaw is a hard. Ask Juliana Pena. As Julia Pena got dropped 5 times by a man that just changing the southpaw in one style. So whenever Grasso kind of did that to Valentina, it just kind of kind of shook her up a little bit, threw her off rhythm. So a
Yes.
full-time southpaw, I think Manon, she really needs to kind of focus on her boxing in this fight, even her time and pushing her back, and
But
like I
pressure.
said, just choose whichever style she want to use. Because
Real quick, y'all.
Tyler,
James Prez has entered the
mm,
building. James Prez has entered the building. He going off in the
boy,
chat.
that's how he do. That's all I can say. Sometime with Jamie is just shake my head, man, shake my head, because
And Combo, did you see also in the Tela Santos first fight against Valentina, how Santos was able to win the scramble? And I think Manon should work on winning the scramble too. For example, when Valentina tried to use her takedown ability or judo throw, she have to win the takedown to at the end be on the top and control and do a ground and pound. Because
mhm.
I think she can do that. She,
Yeah,
she
that's
can
one
win
thing.
the scramble. Hmm?
Yeah, that's one thing these fighters they got to do is um, like when I see Wei Lee take you down and she just start working, I don't really see too many girls do that. Like even Valentina, like when she take you down, she just be laying there sometime. Like I'm like let some elbows go or something. And I think if Manon is on top in any position, she's got to like use all her strength and let those elbows go. But like as far as strength, when you hear somebody like Erin Blanchfield voice how strong she is, like, do you think that will play a factor in this fight? Like, even though Valentina has taken down some of the biggest girls before, like, let me start with you two, Beast. Do you think that's going to be effective to an extent?
It'll play a little bit of a part. I think the thing about Val is she's good with her timing. Cause like even though she don't like some of the doubles she got on Tyler didn't have the greatest technique, but she
Mm-hmm.
timed them well. And then the body lock trips, she's real good with those, except when she go for that damn head and arm,
Oh,
which drives
hold
me
on, real
nuts.
quick. Oh, sorry, real quick. So James, James, he gets so blind that he take away credit from his own fighter. See, like he don't hear the wordplay sometimes because I just said Valentina's taking down some of the biggest girls, and he's like some of the biggest girls. Like, oh, so you don't think she did? Okay, well, I guess she ain't gonna make it in this fight then.
Well,
I mean,
he said every girl, not some, essentially. So he's saying nah, not some. He took down all of them. That's basically what he's saying.
but he ain't understanding what I'm saying. He ain't understanding what I'm saying. Like Holly is a big fighter and Amanda's a big fighter. Dang, James, you lost, man. See, you got too many comments. You want to know what nobody's saying. See, take your caps lock off, make one comment and one little post comment, and then you good.
BJ, you the man, bro. But we got like I don't know how you schedule this combo, man, but
Mm-hmm.
you gotta make another day. You gotta do a day with BJ. You gotta do a day with James Prez, man.
Oh,
Two,
me and BJ, we
two,
got our show
two.
tomorrow. So
You got the round mashup. You know what I'm saying? Tuesday, and then like another day, you gotta do it with James Prez. Y'all just go back and forth on Val topics only.
James lost, boy. That's what I'm saying. Look, I almost kind of hope Valentina win because he gonna be on suicide watch if she lose Saturday, boy. Just like he was on that Grasso fight 2 years ago.
So to reply to your question, Combo, I will say that in the cage wrestling, the strength of
Mm-hmm.
Manon will be effective in the cage
Mm-hmm.
wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Valentina will have a hard time in cage in try to wrestle Manon in the cage because she is technical enough to counter that. But in the freestyle wrestling, Valentina is doing in the middle of the cage with good timing, like BJ say. She can't put Manon down even if she's bigger. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why Manon have to really work on a scramble and things like that to after that be on the top like Santos did, you know.
So you think cage wrestling would be more effective than say taking Valentina down? Because I was looking at that Grasso fight, and there were some moments where Grasso, when she was wrestling with Valentina in the cage, Valentina looked a little tired against the cage. Like Valentina, she had more success like on the ground, but there were some times like whenever when it was like right after that period whenever she tried to like Valentina tried to like ground herself and try to act like she got hit by a elbow, a knee while she was grounded. But the referee kind of played it out.
Yeah,
And I believe that was the round, but Grasso started kind of wrestling with her a little bit on the cage. And,
yeah,
you kind of see Valentina get a little tired, but it
yeah.
seems like
She
when it
got
goes to the
tired.
ground, yeah, when she goes to the ground, that's where she's strongest at. So,
Yeah, but it's because also I agree with you on the in the cage wrestling. She got tired, and also Grasso is too confident as a BGG, and she can sometimes just upset to fight from the bottom, use her BGG from her back, you know, and it's not really good. And that Valentina figure out is not try to golden powder because she with her BGG she use every opportunity to stand up or to try to submit her with the BGG that Grasso doing. But Valentina figured out that in the third fight and try to more control Grasso, you know, control Grasso and not let move. So lay and pray, you know, but not try to give her opportunity to stand up or do submission by doing ground and pound, you know, because when you have to eat when you're doing ground and pound, you have to stand a little bit stand up, you know, and the fighter can use this opportunity to explode and get up or try to submit you, you know.
mhm. All right. So ultimately, I know two beats. You already got your pick, man, for this one, or you still trying to decide?
I don't know. I might have to go with the two beast pick again, man. Just my only prediction is for a good fight. I can't predict who win. I will say this. Nothing against Manon. Um, a part of me wants Val to win just because of specific matchups I need to see that I might not get to see if she don't win. You know what I'm saying? Whereas if Manon wins, it might make a certain matchup happen that I don't want to see and what. So purely based on matchups that I want to see,
Mm-hmm.
I'll be rooting for Val, but as far as a pick goes, I'm fit. Like I don't know who's gonna win the fight. I have no clue because I don't know how Manon's gonna approach the fight. I'm pretty sure I know how Val's gonna approach it. It's gonna be mostly reactionary, depending on how Manon approaches it. But with Manon, I don't know how she's gonna approach it at all.
Okay. All right, real quick. Paul said I asked a legit question a while back in the chat. If you want to ask the guest or answer yourself, okay. Well, I would be able to see it if I didn't see all this brown right here. Hold on. All right, so let me see. All right, okay. Paul asked, "Is it fair to say that Manon played defense for the most part against the Aaron fight, or for the most part in the Aaron fight, that she waited for Aaron to come to her and countered when Aaron attacked? If so, would she try that again with Valentina?" What do you think about that, Axel?
I think he's right. During this fight, she was mostly doing counter striking with check hook and try to retake the center and circle, you know, like a step
Mm-hmm.
to circle and check hook. And yeah, and I don't think she will do that against Valentina. And I think she did that in purpose because she know Erwin have you know, during the conference and other, I mean, other video, other media stuff. And it was very confident, like she was the wrestler, and she will put Mano, pressure on Mano, and she will be able to take her down, and etc. So Mano knows that, and she tried to use counter striking to avoid that, and her footwork to avoid that. And also she knows that Ewing use weaponize her cardio, so she tried to avoid to do not necessary stuff, to you to lose our gas tank.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
I don't think it will be the same thing with Valentina.
All right. He also asked, will she try to force Val to advance so that Manon can be the one countering? So do you think she will be the counter striker?
I don't think so. I think Manon will do what she does, circle around Valentina and try to use Helena to uh, to hit her without being hurt. And she will try to blitz, use her karate blitz to combination in order to counterattack the counter striking of Valentina. Because when you have a counter striker like Valentina, as I said before, you have to throw combination. You cannot just one punch and waiting for Valentina to contra you.
Yeah, one of the things like I always say too, you got to put pressure on Valentina. You can't let her set her feet because she flat footed. She kind of flat footed and laying those same combinations with intensity. So that's how a lot of the girls she's fighting, they just respect that. So you got to
Yeah,
make her.
I think you say combo is. I feel like except Grasso and Tala Santos, other fighters give Valentina too much respect. It's like they were very
Yeah,
shy. They were very shy in the octagon, in the cage. I watched the Shukegian fight. I feel like Shukegian was very shy. She did not use her size. She was very shy. She tried to
hmm
set, to throw kick, but weak kick, not the same kick she threw against Mano.
hmm
I think she was very too respectful.
Yeah, because if you look at these girls now, Grasso, Tyler Santos, Manon, if you think they all going to fight like Lauren Murphy, and that's no disrespect to Lauren Murphy, I'm just saying like Lauren Murphy was on her level and that was her level. But if you think everybody's going to be a Lauren Murphy in there, it's like, come on, like you know, everybody's going to figure somebody. Everybody gets figured out at some point too. That's how I see it, and we just got to see if Manon has got the tools to kind of expose that.
I have a question for you, Combo.
Yeah.
So I know how Mano works during her training camp, how she used to work and how she work now, because she talked about that in French media, etc. But they have no information about what Valentina is doing. And I feel like watching Valentina fight and the other fight of Valentina and other footage, I feel like Valentina, during the training camp, she's not really prepared for the fighter. She's mostly work on her skill, on her, you know. She work on developing her skill that she used to do. And the only time I see her really adapt to her opponent, it was the last fight against Grasso when she came with a real game plans against our opponent.
One thing I find really interesting about Valentina's training, there's a couple. Well, I lied. There's a couple things that find really interesting. Number one, she's training constantly in different places,
Yeah,
traveling the world, but training in all those different areas, those different styles, and all those different people. And the second thing that's very interesting about Val, I heard her say it in an interview, is that she don't lift weights and she don't work out. You feel what I'm saying? Like everything she does is training.
yeah.
And
She work like a traditional martial artist.
mm,
Yeah. She don't run either.
yeah, that to me, because I felt like that's like one of the greatest ways to train, where it's like you find a way to get like workouts mixed in with the training regimen, to where it's not like you're splitting the time, you're consolidating it. So whereas one fighter might have to do 4 hours in the gym, or like 2-3 hours in the gym, and then they got to do 4-5 hours, training or whatever, she could knock out 4 hours of training and workout all together based on how she's doing stuff. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's smart. You know what I'm saying? That's why she's been on top for as long as she has, because like all of her time and effort is going into training, and it's also being diversified in a whole bunch of different looks that she's constantly getting. So
Yeah, it does that, but she's not really. How can I say that? It's not, for example, did you watch the fight with Yangari and Prates, and how Yangari can prepare with a game plan, really adapt to Prates? She's not really doing that, you know. The only
right.
time I saw her doing that, it was against Grasso.
Mm.
And for example, I will give you an example. For example, we saw Mano, the different training partner she came with. And you can't find a rational, a logic explanation why this kind of training partner come to Mano training. For example, when she invite Millie Block, she's a Muay Thai fighter, so she can mimic Valentina. You know why she Mano invite her. She also invite Brianna St. Mary, which is a good BGG artist, grappler. So, you know, she's one of the best of that. So, Manon, you have a logical explanation why this training partner is in the training camp of Manon. But I have no idea about which is the training, really, the training partner of Valentina, and why the purpose, the logical explanation why they are in her training camp. For example, we see Tracy Cortez in our training in our training camp, but Tracy Cortez is not really a good training partner to prepare against a fight against Manu, you know.
Mm.
So do you think I was just reading something yeah, okay, Claude did say that Valentina runs. Yeah, because I heard different too on that, Claude, that she doesn't, I know she doesn't like it, but I also heard that she didn't really do any road work like that. But I know Chikagan says she doesn't. Came straight out of her mouth that she doesn't really do road work. I mean, I know Manon does. So do you think that'll play a factor, Axel? Do you think I always see Manon running. I always see her doing road work. So do you think that'll play a factor against Valentina?
Uh, yeah, it's difficult to say. It's difficult to say. I know that Mano is always in shape, you know, always training. And when she started her training camp, she was already in shape. So she don't have to do a drastic diet, you know, during her training camp and lose time on that, you know, lose time on diet because she already in shape. And when she go to when she enter her training camp, it's mostly working strategy and things like that. And she also work. I don't know if you see that combo, but she also work in a kind of how can I say that? Work on her mobility and balance. There are several video where she said she have a new trainer making her work on that, making her work on balance and mobility and etc. You can see her try to have balance in a ball, you know, in her foot, you know, things like that, you know. So a kind of new training. And I know, for example, in our teams, they have guys who have PhD in sport and science in our team. You know, they are in our team in terms of intelligence. Yeah, they are very good. They have several guys who have PhD in sport science. Our dietitian have PhD in sport science. So that's why I'm not concerned really about my non-conditioning.
Okay. Yeah, I have seen her working on the balance and everything, doing a lot of that balance work. And I mean, that's good. That's definitely good when you fighting somebody like Valentina. Because she doesn't have to be able to move at different angles, and like I said, Valentina, if you put the pressure on her, that'll take away most of the power. You know, I was talking about that before even going into the Grasso fight. One of the things to do is you have to kind of take her out of that mid range that she's comfortable with. You got to put her on the back foot a little bit, and you don't really see too many people doing that. You know, so
You
they
see,
get
Talas Santos and Grasso doing that. The only
yeah,
two
just them.
person.
They were the only two that really kind of pushed her back because everybody else, if you see, they fought her, Jessica Andrade, Lauren Murphy, Chikagan. You know, Chikagan's a striker, but when she tried to stand in the middle and counter or box with her, she didn't make any progress because she was giving Valentina too many chances to, you know, just pick her apart. But
Mm.
if you
It's
sliding
like,
in and out like Grasso
yeah,
was doing, if you sliding in and out on your feet and you kind of making these subtle little movements, it kind
you
of gets
blitz,
frustrating.
or you use blitz to put on pressure, some
Yeah,
blitz with long combination like Santos was doing.
yeah, because pressure, you know, I think that's going to be a big part in this one. Like you can't give her space. You know, you can't give her that space that she's used to work.
Yeah.
Um,
So
because
to complete
oh,
what
real
you are
quick, I wanted to
saying,
say yeah, because like if you go back to like that first round, second round, in that first fight with Grasso, like, and that's the thing with Grasso, like she never really built off of that in that third fight. Like, see, Manon, you got a blueprint. You know, she has to say, okay, like if I want to stick to my strike and my takedown defense has to be on point. You know, Grasso, she was thinking too much of a boxer and she could do the same thing. But as the fights went on, second fight, third fight, she was lost, you know. So
yeah, I
no, I
think
already know her takedown defense is way better. So if she wants to stick to striking, she has to be alert to use her her takedown defense in the fight.
I think to complete what you were saying, I think, for example, the other girl, they're like they when Valentina is in defensive in a Western stance in the middle of the ring, it's like they are just watching her. They are
Yeah.
they are just watching her. They don't put any feint, any combination. They try one punch and etc. But they are just watching her. And when it's like that, you have to put a lot of feint, to make Valentina hesitate, try to let her land the first punch, counter. But they don't doing that. They just watch her. And that's the downfall. You cannot let Valentina doing that. You cannot stay like that with Valentina. Because Valentina is like she stayed very defensive and the way she's doing that is she controlling the tempo of the fight like that. Because you have to follow her and follow. And after that, she's like she's put you and sleep. And quickly she bleeds on you. She's in defensive
Hmm.
stance like that. You there watching. You are on sleep and she bleeds on you. And I think that when you are a fighter against Valentina, you can stay like that in front of her in the middle of the cage doing nothing.
Okay. Yeah, Paul had a question that was directed toward James, but he said, "How do you beat Valentina?" He said, "Be honest." So I said, "Be Amanda Nunes or be Grasso."
Oh man.
That that's a good
You forgot
question,
about
Combo.
2023. You forgot about 2023, James. You remember what happened in 2023? I saw it.
But that's a good question, Combo, because we are not on the training camp of Mano and Valentina. So what we are doing is speculation. So, you
Right.
just give an opinion. You cannot be right or wrong. We don't know the truth. It's just an opinion about what you feel. So I feel like you have to accept that. It's just speculation. And we will know everything the day of the fight.
Right. Yeah.
Because if I am at the training camp of Mano and training camp of Valentina, I can 98% tell you this one will win, this one will, the other fighter will win, and etc. But you are not in the training camp. You don't know what's happening, what they train and etc. So it's just speculation.
Hmm. You hear that, James? Right? Yeah. So I think that it's just like any fighter in the past. Like I've been watching fights for so long, man. Like to beat the best, they always say you got to be the best, but sometimes to beat the best, man, you just got to have the right tools. you just got to have the right tools and you got to catch them at the right time. I mean, Grasso, the perfect example. Like, was Grasso on the same level as Valentina when she fought her? No. Like, but she was hungry. She fought her way up, and she caught Grasso. Grasso caught Valentina at the right time with the right tools, and she was able to win. That's how it goes. So, I think the same situation is here. Manon worked her way up here, didn't lose a fight. I think she's been waiting for this, and has she fought fighters like Amanda and Holly Holm? No, but everybody she's beaten prepared her for this fight here, and you got a lot of tape to go off of. Like I said, like you got a lot of tape to go off of with Valentina. So to lose to her at this point for some of these fighters, it's almost like, come on, like better. It's there. The answer is there. I mean, I know it's different than somebody like Jessica Andrade, who's, we all see the blueprint to beat her, but if you fought this hard and you got this far, and if you really want it, I think that you don't have to go in here and say, oh, this person we know is better. No, like this is her moment to prove she is better or she is the best, right? So that's how I see it. It's just like any fighter in the past that pulls off the upset. It's just like, wow,
And you never know what's happened. For example, someone have a bad wet cut and someone didn't sleep well, and that affects the performance. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
let me ask y'all this though. What do y'all think about this Grasso Silva fight though, man? I think Mike Lee said he was a little worried about Silva in this fight in the comment section. So what do y'all think about this Grasso Silva fight on the same card?
I think Silva have a good footwork, and I don't know how Grasso will match our footwork. But one thing I think Silva need to work on is not to be too close to the cage, because sometimes she have good footwork, but she's too close to the cage, and you can't wrestle her, So maybe Grasso will do that, But I think the footwork of Silva will give Grasso a lot of issue.
Yeah, that's a good point. Sometimes, I think that when she's close to the cage, that kind of leaves her open to be taken down. Or in Grasso's case, if Grasso's able to walk her towards the cage, she could maybe time her and land a right hand or something. But I think Silva, with the way she throws those kicks, it kind of makes people hesitant about wanting to step in too close sometimes, like they don't want to get too far in. Like if I was looking at Viviana Araujo, like she had some success, but there was times like she would want to get in and get out. Like she was worried about the kick coming back. And then she gets caught with the left hook because she's worried about the kick. So,
But once you are in the boxing range, you cannot kick anymore.
No, you can't. Yeah. And I think Silva's got the speed to keep Grasso back, out of that range, because I'm still a little worried about her leg too, man. Like, Grasso suffered a broken leg. So, I'm kind of thinking how that's going to come into play whenever, Natalia Silva starts working those calf kicks.
I think also Silva need to learn to retake the center, Use your footwork to retake the center, not staying close to the cage. Just circle and retake the center, not circle around the cage.
Mm-hmm. Mike Lee said, not sure if it's a good idea for Grasso to stand and strike with Silva. Do y'all think that Grasso will turn into a wrestler in this fight? Do you think you think she's going to be forced to wrestle?
I seriously doubt it, man. As much as I wish she would start adding that to her game, I don't know. I don't think she will, honestly. The thing I think about Silva, though, to add to one of her weaknesses, like what Axel was saying, and it's a weakness of a lot of women and men in the cage, is when they get their back to the cage, they don't have the most urgency to they don't play the cage as lava, so to speak.
Yeah.
It's a big pet peeve of mine, because I don't know if anybody else, Axel, you, or anybody else has noticed this, but I want to say at least 80-90% of the time, whenever I see someone obtain 2 underhooks when their back is at the cage, they get off within 10 seconds, sometimes just 5. And that's why it drives me so nuts. I'm like, why are they accepting the cage? Especially someone like Silva. Like in that Araujo fight, that was the only round she lost, other than I think the what was that? What's her name? Bleda?
Oh, you
She
talking about
lost
the
2.
first round? The first round of
Yeah,
both fights, right?
yeah, the first round against Bleda, and I think the first round against Araujo.
Yeah, it
But the
was.
Araujo fight, that's the only round she lost where it was standing like the whole time. It's because she accepted having her back up against that cage for so long. I'm just like, man, just dig 2 underhooks and you off within 10 seconds.
I
It's
agree.
like almost a guarantee. I don't know if it's like they got a fear of what like people like Macy would do because of the elbow. I don't know what it is, but it's like they'll hold on to that one overhook and then the one under and just sit at that position for the longest time. And I don't get it. They don't even fish for a second one.
You know, the
It's
one thing, Grasso, similar to Manon, is like she might not go for takedowns in this fight, but when she gets close, her cage wrestling is better. Like I think her cage wrestling is effective. Like when BJ was doing that round by round Macy Barber yesterday, um, Macy was having some trouble on the inside with Grasso. So I kind of think, if that's going to be Grasso's game plan to stay away from striking from a distance, and if her wrestling's not up to par, which I don't think it is for this fight, she's gonna have to spend more time trying to cage wrestling wear Silva down on the inside.
the other thing with Silva too is she's known for her kicks and everything, but she does have power in her hands too. And her hands are fast as hell. So it's like that's another reason why people might be hesitant to come in on her. Because even if you do get past the kicks, she got fire in her hands and she's fast. So it's like it is a pick your poison with her, because it's like if you do rush her, she can drop you. And if you're at range, she can pick you apart, because she ain't one of those fighters that'll back up and just back up. Like she stays busy off the back foot. It's like very few fighters that could like really fight off the back foot like that, and she's one of them.
The
Jacqueline
one thing I
Cavalcanti is somewhat decent at it too, but
the one thing I don't like whenever Silva kind of gets into that movement sometimes is like she don't stick the jab completely out sometimes. She'll just kind of bait it too much, and that kind of that's something you can't do against Grasso. I'm just saying, when you're dealing with somebody that's a better boxer, so she's gonna have to really like be laser sharp and not just doing some of the fast things that she's usually doing, man. Like that jab, man, like if she was just stick it out a little bit more, it would just really cut up a lot of her opponents. Like if she could mix the kicks and the jabs up, I think she would be really, really effective with that, because I think she could have like knocked Andrade out quicker. Well, she didn't knock her out, but she probably could have got her up out of there quicker had she been more fluid and working with the jab.
I mean, what
Uh,
is it, Combo? You've been saying it for years, man. Why these
Jab,
folks
baby.
won't use that dang on jab, man?
Yeah, even when you're
Gianni
that fast,
Barbosa was the most recent one
that
that
jab was nice in
really,
that fight.
yeah, like she really worked it. But I don't know, like it's like you catch cooties if you touch someone with a jab. That like they just scared to use it. I don't know,
Mhm.
like I don't get it, because it's the most effective. Like you can throw it at the chest. That's it.
Mhm.
You
That's
hit them
all.
in the body, or if they dip it, like just throw it. Like I don't get it, man. It's one of the most effective punches you could ever throw, but the least utilized. Everybody get on Juliana Pena for her technique and how scrap she is when it comes to technique and striking, but her jab just mesmerizes people. They just can't help but connecting their forehead to it. But like
It ain't
nobody
even
wants to
about
throw
Pena.
it.
Yeah, if there's anything about Pena, I always got to give her credit for is that jab.
Hey, Combo.
Will there be any jabs in this fight, Combo?
In the Grasso and Silva fight,
Or are they just not? They're just gonna abandon it, man.
oh, there'll be jabs. I think there might be jabs on Silva's side more here. Well, actually, no. I think Grasso will throw. I think Grasso will probably throw a few, but even some of these boxers sometimes they be disappointing. I think Rose throws more jabs. Like Rose don't really disappoint with the jab. Though, I don't think.
Mm.
What were you gonna say, Axel?
So I will have to leave the chat. So just to say thank you for having me and
No,
to
no, no,
debate
no
and
problem.
discuss. And see you
Okay,
next time.
okay, yeah. I appreciate you on, man. Hey, anytime you want to get back on, because the fight's coming up. You can get on after the fight, give your thoughts after the fight. You always welcome.
Okay, I will
All right,
do.
thanks again.
Thanks.
All right, y'all. That was Axel the first time coming on here. Appreciate him coming on because he's been in the chat for a while and wanted to just give his thoughts on the fights. I appreciate that. Uh, just fixing my mic. Sorry. Hang on here. Walter Bell. What's up? Walter Bell says Silver Speed is undoubtedly going to stand out. I think so too. I think so. I think it will stand out. Grasso's timing is something I'm kind of still thinking about too, though. Like, how does Grasso's timing throw Natalia Silva off? Will it throw her off? That's something to think about. Paul said, "Do we all agree that Grasso is a harder fight for Natalia Silva than Andrade?"
Definitely.
Yeah, that's why I'm laughing. Big time. Both former champions, but I mean, we're talking about Grasso who choked out Valentina. Right, James? Paul said Alexa's striking is going to be so much more slick and technical than Andrade's loopy, sloppy striking. Of course it is. Alexa's striking is good. I mean, it dropped Valentina, right, James? Claude says Silva's a little flashy at times, going to cost her one day. It could. It could. Flashiness, it only gets you so far. I always remember Roy Jones in the boxing, love him to death, but sometimes, technique will catch up. But this fight here, it's going to be interesting, man. It really is. I can't help but lean towards Silva early. What about you two, Beast?
Yeah, man. I think the most two difficult fights for Silva is I want to say Val and Manon in that order.
Well, okay.
And with Grasso coming off of a broken leg, this is the worst fighter to be fighting, in my opinion. She's gonna be running, and it's a 3-round fight. So
for her.
we've already seen her run around the cage for 3 rounds on several occasions. So and she's gonna be eating leg kicks. This is very bad. She'd have been better off taking the Aaron Blanchfield fight, in my opinion, if she could have, because this is like no broken leg. This is like very super evenly matched. Broken leg coming off injury, it's like, in my opinion, 60-40 Silva.
60-40. Okay.
Because when a
Yeah,
boxer going against a kicker that moves well too, it's not like she's a kicker and she's like easily hittable. Like, it's like a kicker who's good at kicking and moving on the back foot. So I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of got it 60-40. Sometimes it teeters 50-50 every now and then, just off of, experience. But I really keep going back 60-40 here with Natalia Silva. Or like B just said, 65-45. Yeah.
But that's a striker's paradise.
Oh, most definitely. I really hope nobody goes for a takedown in this fight. I really just hope
Right. I'm waiting for I don't want it now because they somewhat on like streaks right now. But I need some sort of mashup between our grapplers of strawweight, man. Between Dern, freaking Jillian, Talita, and Jacqueline. And Verna. I need mixtures of those 5 women in ranked fights at some point, man. Because
Fatima too, right?
And Fatima too. You could throw her in there too. I need that in my life, man, because just I can only imagine the scrambles and it's just gonna be that's grappler's delight right there, man.
Yeah, they're Verna, her grappling, man. Like, I think if Whaley is not careful in that fight, could be dangerous. But I see Whaley just evolving so much, But don't ever give her a neck, man. Don't give her any room, man. Like, Verna can be dangerous like that. But Jacqueline, man, this girl Jacqueline, like the way she moves on the ground, and she's always just going for that submission. She's a potential threat. I know Paul thinks he's beating tomato cans, but we'll see. We'll see, man.
I'm worried that she don't get tested though, man. Like that's the like it's great that she gets them out of there early. That's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
But man, I really want to see her get some minutes in the stand up. Like that stat was crazy, bro. I feel like that's too soon, man.
You do? Like, see, they kind of went backwards with her. They threw her in there with Sam Hughes off the jump. And Sam Hughes already had like a 5 to 6 fight experience over her, and she loses her first fight. And then they go in there and give her the rest of these girls, and she beats all 4 of them by finish. So now, who's a stand-up fighter she should face that's unranked right now? Like, I don't want to give her Loma because Loma deserves a ranked opponent to me,
Right. Definitely.
Like, who is an unranked stand-up fighter you would want her to fight right now?
I don't even know if she's fighting anymore, but what's it called? Blismas just came to my mind.
Yeah, she's I don't even know, man. Like, she just had she's still out on maternity leave. So there is
who got a fight? Denise probably should get it. She already got a fight.
Well, there's Bruna Brazil. There's Bruna Brazil.
Oh, that'd be perfect. That'd be deadly though. Cause I feel like her striking is just good enough, Jacqueline's that is, to sustain long enough to get a takedown, I feel like. But with Angela, I feel like I don't know if she wins that fight. And the reason I say that is because Angela's has made massive improvements in that area. She just got her first submission win.
Yeah.
Not too long ago. So it's like, I feel like she's going to struggle a lot more to take her down. Sure, if it's on the ground, yes, great chance. But I feel like getting her to the ground is going to be a lot more difficult because Angela is a much better striker than what Jacqueline's faced. And she, correct me if I'm wrong, like Angela, how is her movement typically? Is it like frustrating the fighters or is it predictable?
Who, Angela Hill?
Yeah, what would you say? Is it more frustrating or is it predictable?
I think her movement is really like herky jerky. It's kind of frustrating, I think it's kind of frustrating for most of these girls that really aren't on that Muay Thai and they don't have that background. Because, like, if you ever look at Angela Hill, she's always moving. Like, imagine being in there in front of her, because we on the side just seeing like one point of just like her hips and shoulders moving. But like, imagine if that's in front of you and she's constantly like popping a jab and throwing a kick at your head. Like she don't even throw knockout punches, but it's just how she's constantly moving. I think her movement can be frustrating, but if you like a powerful grappler and you got one thing on your mind, you know, you can kind of bulldoze through that. And that's how like Berna did and Mackenzie Dern did. But I think when you're like these green girls and they see that movement, it's frustrating. I think it's predictable to girls that have gotten better at striking and they get a better read on feints. But for these green fighters like Denise Gomes, Loopy, who else lost to her recently? Was that girl Luana Santos? Did Luana Santos lose to her too?
Yeah, she finished her.
Yeah. Luana Pinheiro.
Pinheiro, never mind. Sorry.
Yeah, Pinheiro got finished by her. Yeah, like I think it's really frustrating. It really is frustrating to
them. Because as soon as because I saw that post, the matchmaking Monday, and I was like, oh, I don't know, I don't want that. That was my first thought. I was like, nah, give her someone a little bit easier. Because I mean, I'm rooting for Jackie to make it. You know what I'm saying? We need the more grapplers, the merrier. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. My initial thought was that's gonna be a tough matchup because she literally was in the stand-up, and I counted. I was like, please tell me it was more than 10 seconds. It was legit. I think it was 5 seconds in the first round, 9 in the second, or vice versa. It was super quick. She got the takedown and basically had no exchanges.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the same thing, I think, in the Corey McKenna fight. There was like maybe 3 or 4 exchanges, and it's just like I would like to see her. It's kind of like a catch-22 kind of thing. I'd like to see her take longer to do what she does, but at the same time, it's good that she is showing that urgency to get to where she needs to be.
Right. Yeah.
But
because at the speed she's doing it, at least she's having less recovery time and she can fight more. You know what I mean? Like the more you get some of these girls out of there, the quicker you can call Dana or Mick Maynard and say, hey, one round, I'm done. I'm still hungry. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. The checks are going to be good and the opportunities will be great.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I'd be worried I'd be very worried at the edge of my seat in that Angela Hill fight, because I'd be like, oh man, she getting hit with this, she getting hit with that. And then I'd be worried. I'd have those thoughts about the gas tank thing and all that people be saying. I don't think it's true personally. I think she fixed that. Because there was a lot of people online saying if she don't sub her in the first, she's going gas, which I didn't see that at all. But yeah, we'll see.
What do you think Walter said here? He said it wouldn't surprise me if Natalya delivered a head kick that knocks Grasso to the canvas. Do you think she can penetrate her defense, man? And you think she can throw her off enough to get a head kick in?
All I do know is there are going to be head kicks coming. One getting through, I'm not sure, but they will be there. They will be thrown. And they will be thrown often.
And they'll be all be thrown by Silva.
Probably, yeah, for the most part.
Because
Grasso might get 1 or 2 in their attempts, but
did she throw in head kick? Did she throw in her head kicks in her last 3 fights?
She did. She did throw. Yeah, okay. It was far and few between, but she did throw a couple. I don't know if they even got to the point of being blocked. I think they hit air, but I don't know. I was looking for it. I was like, because I know I was watching it thinking, dude, throw more kicks so you can, just switch it up something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember thinking that, and I was like, oh, okay, she finally threw. And so I don't know which fights and at what points, but yeah, it'll be very few, I imagine.
Okay. Mike said Grasso has to constantly press and keep the distance closer. She can't stand and win a striking contest with Silva. Yeah, like I think
unless she wants to kick.
Yeah, unless she wants to kick. I think her best bet would be to do some cage wrestling here and be effective with it, as far as getting in little shots, or maybe even try to trip Silva and lay on her for a round or 2. So I think Grasso, if she kind of falls into that rhythm of Silva and she starts getting picked apart, she's gonna have to just worry about taking rounds, just taking them by getting takedowns and trying to steal them. If it's boring, so be it. She's gonna have to do something like that. But she can't stand to fight a flashy fight. I think, I don't think Grasso can stand to fight a flashy fight. Like if you look at some of the not boxers, but just stand-up fighters she's fought, like Jin Yoon Kim, even Macy Barber, JoJo. JoJo was landing on Grasso too. JoJo did land a few on Grasso before she took it to the ground. So JoJo kind of forced her to turn into a grappler in that fight. So she can't play too long on the feet here. She cannot play too long on the feet with Silva. Man, I cannot wait. I can't wait.
Me neither, man. Similar to the Jacqueline situation where it's great that we get to see Silva do her thing, move the whole time and do that. But it would be nice to see her for 5 rounds.
Nice to see 5 rounds. It would.
Yeah.
We would see a lot of questions answered in the 5-round fight. Yeah.
Exactly. Because for me, I personally want to do away with the Silva's tired and Silva can't do it for.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, bro, when she finished the fight against Jasmine Jasdavicius, the girl was not breathing heavy at all. At the third round, mouth closed. Where like she got the little signature pose that she does when she's about to start, got the foot up on the cage, mouth is completely closed. Sprints out to the front, just like he feels like she's not tired in the third round. Say what?
I gotta watch that fight tonight now.
Like she's not even tired. Like I don't know. I don't remember how the Arujo fight went. I don't remember watching that going, oh my God, I think she's fading. I definitely don't remember that. But I don't see it, man, because at the third round she's still moving. If anything, the third round she starts moving more than in the first 2 rounds,
right?
Because at that point she's more cautious and defensive.
Yeah, and I think the more I study it too, I think when you look back at like a lot of stand-up fighters, they spar round after round after round, especially if that's your game. You spar long rounds. So I'm pretty sure she's got something in the tank reserved and she knows how to kind of pace herself out, even especially for a 3-round fight, So I do think that in this 3-round fight with Grasso, I think she'll be game all the way to the end. Granted, nothing crazy happens. I think she'll have enough in her gas tank. But even if it was a 5-round fight, I think she'll be safe because these stand-up fighters, this is what they do. They move and they move and spar like this at a high pace in training all the time, So even when like fighters like Manon, like I'm glad that Manon actually got a 5-round fight against Aaron. Yeah, Aaron.
Yeah.
At least she got one. But
that was perfect for her.
Perfect
to get that in before the championship.
And that's one thing I'll add to some rules, 2Bs, is that any title eliminator has to be 5 rounds. It's got to be.
Especially if it's like publicized and clearly known, like, yo, these two are fighting for a chance to fight the champ. Like that, they should try their best to get it in a co-main or main of at least what they call it, a fight night card.
Yeah.
What's it called? Colostrum. He said, "Who do you think, how do you think Silva versus Dakota would go? It would be a banger. It would be an amazing stand-up fight."
Man, that was crazy. If Walter Bell's still in the building, I'm gonna tell him, I'm looking at Dakota, man. Don't I'm keeping my eyes on her because I'm watching how she punches and everything, and man, like, like her size and her power, she uses it to the best of her ability, man. Like that's a scary fight. That's a scary fight.
The thing is, I think that one is a lot closer because Dakota, as you pointed out, uses her length way better than a
Anybody.
lot of fighters.
Yeah.
And when she's in close, she's got those bombs of body shots to, you know, rely on. So she's got much better stand-up tools to be able to deal with someone like Silva. But I still think I don't care who you are, when you dealing with someone who has the cardio to move like that for 3 straight rounds and not even look tired and has the speed like Silva, I don't think anyone has an easy fight against her. Even if you're Dakota, I don't think you have an easy fight against someone like her.
Yeah, Mike says, yeah, Silva's faster than anyone Dakota's ever fought. Oh yeah, Silva's faster than anybody's fought. I think, like for real. Like that's one thing I've always said about her. Like nobody has really been up against that type of awkward style. That's why a lot of the girls didn't know how to handle it. They're flustered. Paul said combo early betting odds for Jasmine versus Andrade has Jazzy as a minus 300 favorite. What do you think about that fight, man? Like, does Jessica still have a high chance to you, man? Like,
what was that quote, man? You said a few times, man, and every time you say it, I agree. Andrade is still Andrade.
Yeah, Andrade is still Andrade. Yeah,
You
Andrade
can't sleep. You sleep on her, you'll get put to sleep. Though you could beat her, but don't sleep on her.
Right.
So, and protect your chin.
Protect your chin. Oh yeah.
So Jasmine, I think she has a good chance. But yeah, like that's a fight I worry for Jasmine more than I worry for Andrade. Because all it takes is one. I mean, she got caught by Silva coming in there a little bit reckless. So I just hope that she learned her lesson and she'll be more calculated. Standing wise, how do you see that going?
Oh man. After looking at Jasmine's last couple fights, I think that she's kind of got a better grasp on using her length. She seemed to be jabbing a little bit more and like using long strikes and trying to fight off the back foot. Like she wasn't doing like she was doing in that Tracy Cortez fight either. Tracy Cortez was kind of boxing her head up, So I think she kind of learned from those fights, but I think that the stand-up has to be that kind of lengthy playing game. Like Jasmine, like you see her in the past walking through a lot of these girls' shots or, trying to fight that fight. But yeah, Andrade ain't the one to do that with. I mean, we've seen how she's the one to lose at certain situations, but Andrade usually loses the technique and skill when it comes down to it. But Dern made that mistake. Dern had the jiu-jitsu, and I think Dern had the jab to win that fight, but she somehow wanted to bang with Andrade. And like, if Jasmine turns any type of situation into that type of slugfest, Andrade is going all out this time. But I think Jasmine will win this fight. Personally, I think she has the technique to win everything, but Andrade still has a chance, man. Like once you get in the pocket with her.
Yeah.
But that's a good opener on 315 for us, though.
Oh man, anytime I see an Andrade fight, I'm there, man. Like I know it's gonna be interesting. Either she's gonna finish the other person, or she might get finished, or someone's gonna leave bloody. It might be her, but it's. I mean, has there ever been a dull Andrade fight in history?
No, man. There has not been one single bad fight. I mean, even my favorite fight that involved her where she lost, the Joanna fight, was still a good fight. But even like when the fights that people consider that she's out of her prime are still good, like the Lauren Murphy fight, or what's the other fight? The Amanda Lemos fight, that stand and choke. I'm like, wow, still dangerous,
I don't think anybody ever pulled that off, right? That's still the only one, right?
Yeah, that's
Standing.
still the same one. Still the only one. Yep. Walter says Silva has been using a gas tank for several days. As a fighter, Silva would likely frustrate Dakota before getting stopped. Man, her power is something. Her power is something. Dakota's power is something. I mean, you really have to. You really have to be. I think to really shut her power down, you really have to be a well-rounded fighter. You know, you really have to be. It kind of have to be like Rose versus Joanna or something. You know, where you know how to time her striking, and you know how to get around her length if you have the same type of length. Like Rose just knew how to like time those long punches and get in there and just touch that chin of Joanna. And to me, that was still like just a crazy knockout. It was just like a crazy type of knockout. Like a lot of people didn't see it coming. I saw it coming. I don't know how. I just like, man, I think it's timing. Rose gonna put her out of there. So, you know, I think you just have to have that type of IQ. I have to question that with Silva, though. You know, I just have to question, like, can she get that long hook in there? Can she land something big on Dakota? Ah, man.
She'll probably attack the legs and throw a lot of head kicks. And Dakota will oblige because she's a good striker herself. So she's not gonna. I mean, it depends on if she really tries to initiate the clinch, which I imagine she would to try to slow Silva down. But I don't know.
Paul said, take a look at everybody on Andrade's resume. W's or L's, it's been crazy. I mean, yeah. Andrade, man. You can't turn away from an Andrade fight.
Nah, never.
Do you think if Jasmine wins that fight, it puts her closer to a title eliminator?
What's their ranks right now? You got it in front of you?
I do. Hold on. Let me see. Jasmine, she is 9 and Andrade is 7. Let me see. Nah, probably not. Probably not. Jasmine might have to fight like the loser of Aaron Macy, right?
Yeah, so like one fight, win that, then title eliminator.
Right. Yeah, that
anybody on a threat list, pending in the bottom half of the divisions?
Oh, the flyweights? Well, let me see across the board, man. Flyweights, I'll start with them because they used to be easier. Probably for flyweight is just as far as like looking, I would maybe say I'm just still like maybe about her, like Deani Barbosa. I'm just kind of waiting. I'm still not sure, but I would say Wang Kong, but I gotta see what she looks like against Lipsky. I really don't have any. Well, only one bantamweight is a little bit easier. I'd say for bantamweight, my threat is Jacqueline Cavalcanti. But I can't really say. I'm not really sure about Eileen Perez. What do you think? Threat for title?
Title? I don't know, but I do think people are sleeping on her. I'm gonna call it. People think she got the OnlyFans and she don't care about her MMA career. You know what I'm saying? And I think she's like a dark horse.
Oh, she cares. Yeah. I don't sleep on her. No.
I think people are. They like, oh man, the twerk girl. Look, man, even her Tapology pictures, her poor Daria, man, just standing over with the twerk position. Like, that's her Tapology page. I'm like, man, look, don't let the twerking fool you. I don't know. Like, I don't know how effective her wrestling will be up against the top half. But if it keeps progressing and her striking keeps progressing, they're gonna have to start taking her a little bit more serious. Like, I'm thinking she's gonna be a dark horse.
Yeah.
I have to see what her next fight look like, but I mean, Carol Hossa has a wealth of experience, and I would imagine had all the tools to be able to, you know, eke out a decision against her, and that didn't happen. You feel what I'm saying? And I think she only got a takedown in the first round, right?
Yeah, I think it was just like one.
Right. So it's not like it was takedown or bust, right?
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? Against a ranked girl. You feel what I'm saying? So people who care more about their OnlyFans don't do stuff like that, in my opinion. You feel what I'm saying? So
Right.
I feel like I just
I don't care about her OnlyFans.
I know, but that's what, like, I feel like a lot of people sleeping on her because of that. But
yeah. I mean, it's understandable. Yeah, I mean, I think they do because look at all the other girls. You know, all the girls in the past kind of gave it a bad rep. You know, for good reason.
yeah,
When y'all just up there posting all the time, and I think BJ was talking about it in his live yesterday when he was saying like, y'all come into the fights with eyelashes on. Like, how serious can you be taken? You know, if you come in here all, you know, dressed up and you guys got a bad reputation of losing. Like,
we'll have to see what Tracy Cortez looks like in her next fight.
she's got something coming up. She posted a little while back, fight news coming. So I was like, maybe Kareem Silva, mate, you know?
Yeah, well, I want to see if she's gonna come out with the eyelashes again, and I want to see what her striking looks like. I still want to believe that Tracy Cortez is very serious about fighting, and I imagine she has to be with all the wins she's racked up. But
I used to think high of her too, man. Like before she was in the UFC, when I was like watching her, I was like, she just didn't have like this standout style, but she was winning, man. And like, you know, there was something about her. I was like, you know, she's gonna get signed and probably be in the top 10 here pretty soon. But somewhere, man, like, I don't know what it is. Like, it ain't even like she's been losing bad, you know. She just kind of been losing the flame or something. I don't know what it is. Walter said Rose and Jasmine, maybe. I actually wanted that fight now. You know, I would have preferred that versus the Rose and Miranda fight. I wish they would have did that fight instead. And I thought Miranda versus Lipsky or Casey O'Neill would have been a good fight. Tracy beat Aaron allegedly. Isn't that wild? Yeah. She beat her. Wow. She beat Aaron back in I think it was Invicta. Yeah, or it was close. It was real close. So. Let's see.
I'm hoping that Julia Pilastri can turn it around, man. I really am. Cause I like the I like the energy, man. But I feel like it like even in that fight when she was on her back, like she wasn't lost. You feel what I'm saying? It wasn't like a lost cause type of situation. She got up like most of the time. It just took a minute, you know?
Yeah.
And she wasn't like in danger or nothing like that. So if she could just have a little bit more urgency with the takedown defense and the get up, I feel like that attitude that she has towards fighting, like you could tell like she's a fighter in an athlete's body. There's a lot of athletes in fighters' bodies, you know what I'm saying? But like she's a fighter in an athlete's body. Legit. Mm-hmm. So that dog, like if you pair that with just a little bit more, you know, now I don't want to say technique, but just like precision and calculated, you know, just be a little bit more focused in there on like the task at hand and not get too like excited to just go in there and fight, you know.
Mm-hmm. She need to be in that Whaley camp, you know.
Yeah, man, that'll get her wrestling right. Apparently, you out wrestle a freaking what silver medalist and whatnot.
Right.
Shoot, you doing something right in that camp. Go there. I advise any freaking grapplers, strikers, whoever, go to the WMMA camp. They are doing something right over there when it comes to wrestling.
Yeah, Jasmine. I believe Jasmine worked with her a little bit like before this fight camp here. And she was like, yeah, she's like Wei Lee. She's like, yeah, Wei Lee's definitely winning that Suarez fight. That's what she said, you know. So I was like, okay.
Dang.
That's, I mean, she did. Who would you consider like a threat across the board right now? If there are any, like, do you consider any fighters threats right now? Like, you know, a rank below 15?
Below 15. I wish I had a list in front of me because I be forgetting fighters sometimes. Like they'll have a good performance, but then I'm like, awesome, can't wait to see him again, but I'll forget. You know what I'm saying? I think Tainara is the one person that really stood out that's like out of the rankings that I don't think we mentioned. She's one of those like she gave me a similar vibe to what Silva was doing. Like it's just in terms of her energy, how she went and dominated a fight, you know? It reminded me of Silva a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Where we all saw how Silva's first fight went. Even though it wasn't a stoppage, it was like, okay, this girl here is serious. Like I saw the stand up, I saw the grappling against someone who had like what 10 fights over her in the UFC. And
Yeah.
she made it look easy like she was supposed to. And it was like what 6 days notice or something?
Yeah, it was like it was a quick turnaround. Yeah, because old girl had just like pulled out, and then next thing you know, Daenerys was like ready to go. So I was like, okay.
Like,
And she was
yeah, man.
she driving some elbows, and she put somebody got a knot on her head. I think Molly McCann did put a knot on her head, but she came out, and I mean, she put Molly. Oh man, that submission was how you make a statement. You know, of
Yeah, the stand up was clean, like precise, like and the reason why this holds a lot of weight with me is because I wasn't impressed with her like Dana White Contender Series fight. Like I heard a lot of good things about it, and then when I went and watched it, I was like underwhelmed.
Right. Yeah, it was okay. Like it wasn't like I thought it was enough. Like I can't really say it was like a showstopper, you know, like to win. But yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
But like I think because I heard such great things about it, I was expecting like Natalia Silva versus Miranda. You feel what I'm saying? Or excuse me, what was her name? Jasmine. Excuse me. And then when I didn't see it, I was like, oh, what were they referring to? But then I just said then. But then she goes in here and does that to Molly. I'm like, oh, okay, this is what the hype was about. You feel what I'm saying? This was the performance I was expecting based on the feedback I heard in the Contender Series. I got that in the Molly fight. I was like, okay, she's slick. Like that was nice. You know what I'm saying? So, and that is a good fight.
I forget about Pierre Rodriguez. I always forget about her. Yeah, see, I do too, man. I always forget some of these unranked girls, man. Like I keep forgetting she's in there too. You got Pierre Rodriguez. She's kind of I keep getting her and Julia Pelostri mixed up, man. Like their style.
Yeah, I can see that. The thing I like about Piera is she's the type that be just quietly racking up those wins. And she ain't doing nothing crazy, spectacular, nothing like that. But she's consistently, clearly winning rounds. She's not like dominating, but she is clearly winning them. You know? And yes, Colostrum, I'm very aware of that.
Oh yeah.
I did see them training and all that. But yeah, and she's got a great camp to be training with, you know what I'm saying? So I mean,
she was there with her fight night too, right? Whenever she fought Molly, I believe.
Yeah, she was in the corner.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, man, Pierre Rodriguez, I mean, aside from that Jillian fight, which to me, I'll give her a pass for because Jillian's on a tear right now.
Oh yeah.
But besides that fight, she's been consistently racking up wins. and she seems like someone who's really good, like really coachable, and has like a good fight IQ to an extent. Like I've seen her mix up with the wrestling, all that good. Like I feel like she's got a lot of good tools to move up in the ranks.
Mm-hmm.
That
I
being
think,
Pierre Rodriguez.
yeah, I think she's been kind of consistent with hers. Like that was something I used to say when I seen her. Like I didn't really see anything stand out, but she's been kind of consistent. Like I've never really seen her like make me question like her heart in there, or like her ability to not learn something. Like she can mix it up. I think she just really needs like somebody to kind of work out her boxing and everything, because I think she's
Mm-hmm.
pretty strong too, from what I've seen. Pelosi is a strong fighter. I'm not Pelosi, but see here I go. Pierre Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Pierre Rodriguez. She just like to get into them scraps though sometime, man.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, Ernest. Oh yeah, Carly Giudice. Yeah, she's won.
Oh
Kelly
yeah,
Hoffman.
Gatto, man. What the hell, bro?
Who?
That's
Oh
very
man, yeah.
frustrating. We need
She
her
was my
back.
potential. She was my potential threat. I don't know where she's at now though. I don't know what's going on.
You ain't seen nothing like an injury or nothing?
Not recently, because I follow her on Facebook and she'll respond when I say anything, but and she follows my Facebook page up there. But I haven't heard anything recently, man. Because I know she had like a forearm injury like a year or two ago. Then she was supposed to fight Jillian Robertson, and that fight got canceled. Then she had to fight at 130. No, that one girl canceled too. What was her name? Dudakova.
Hmm.
Yeah, she was supposed to fight Dudakova, and Dudakova cancels on that night they were supposed to fight. She cancels while they're getting their hands wrapped.
Dang.
While the camera was on them, they were supposed to fight. It was like, oh, Dudakova's not fighting. So Gatto was out of a fight that night. That was crazy. Ernest, what's up? He said, haven't been on in a while. Life is life, and so is Dakota coming to the UFC or not. Well, yeah, life is life, and man, we all be there, so I understand, man. But Dakota is not due for the UFC for I'm gonna say it's another 2 years, man. You might not see her till late 2026 or 2027 for real.
Man, look, they went out there and Vince McMahon Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
They unlocked her in the tightest of contracts you can imagine, or even a Dana White even, where they
Mm-hmm.
just cannot get out of that contract to save their life.
Mm-mm.
It's just like
You ain't taking our star.
man, they pay with all the money they pay her. I guarantee you, they have loaded every kind of lawyer that they could possibly find to ensure that the contract was airtight, so that she cannot go anywhere for at least a year or two. They'll probably go bankrupt before they let her go.
So go back with it. Yeah, I mean, I believe a little while back the UFC made an offer on some fighters, that they could give, for her, and they was like, nah, we're not giving her up.
Man. I don't see where they get it from though, man. They must have who they remind me of, PFL, with the way they're paying Dakota. I imagine they remind me of Chatri Sityodong.
Mm-hmm.
I have to imagine the greatest man alive when it comes to raising funds for an MMA promotion. There's nobody better than Chatri, and I feel like PFL is like a close second, man.
Yeah.
Because as you guys, for anybody that don't know the reference I'm talking about, Chatri Sityodong is the owner, CEO, whatever, of One Championship. And
Mm-hmm.
for several years, One FC was 100% free to watch, either like on YouTube or like a variety of different platforms. So they weren't charging for several years to watch their platform until just recent years. So the reason I bring that up, PFL, they are experts at raising money somehow, because I don't know how they are paying the likes of Dakota and all these other fighters and all these $1 million tournaments and this, that, and the other. Because, I mean, if you listen to Dana White, which I don't advise, they're hemorrhaging money and they're you know, they're not successful, blah blah blah. I don't know, but I don't imagine they're making money just from the outside looking in. I don't imagine they're making money when they're paying out the way they're paying out. That's just me.
Oh man, close from saying PFL, did y'all hear what happened? Was this accident, huh? Francis Ngannou was in an accident, motorcycle accident. Oh wow, hold on. Let me see. Ngannou accident. Let's see. Was allegedly involved in a tragic motor vehicle accident. Wow. Ooh, 17-year-old girl lost her life following the accident. Oh wow, man, that's crazy. It says Ngannou's vehicle collided with a motorcycle. Dang. Hmm. Well, wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. Oh, Mike said that that funding comes from Saudi Arabia. I mean, that's kind of what it's been like for boxing too lately. You know, all that money. What's his name? Turkey Allah something. Alakish. You know, in boxing, he's got money over there, man. He's paying them boxers over there. He's supposed to be doing the thing where he's bringing pay-per-views back to $29.99 too, man. Trying to make Dana look bad. Dana over here, $80 pay-per-views.
Yeah, man, it's only gonna keep going up based on their business model, man.
Yeah, if it keep going up.
I don't see why. I mean, they probably make, based on their business model, they probably are like, what they're doing, they're happy with. But I feel like if they had any inkling in them to like want to benefit the fans, they could easily switch over to what the likes of a BKFC is doing, where it's just you subscribe locally to UFC. There's no other sources like ESPN and all this stuff. It's just straight up. Say, for instance, UFC Fight Pass, they up the price to like $25 a month instead of the 10, I think it is. And then you just say, hey, we're parting ways with ESPN or whatever, and just do exclusively UFC. I feel like they could do it if they really wanted to.
Oh yeah, they could.
But you know, I feel like the likes of BKFC, and then what's that other one? Peak Fighting.
Yeah, Peak Fighting. Yeah, there's Peak Fighting. They have their like little pay-per-view model too.
It's just subscription. $10 a month, get all their content. Simple, bro. I don't know, man. I feel like that's, to me, would just make things so much easier.
Yeah,
because $80, it's like, man, I ain't gonna lie, dude. I find my ways to get around that. I am not gonna even sugarcoat it.
Man, a lot of people do now. So it's
because that's just, and especially for us fans, where we're mainly watching the women's fights. You know what I'm saying? And they, you know, as much as I hate to admit it, they don't touch the pay-per-view main cards a lot of time.
No.
So it's like, what, I'm gonna pay? Well, now answer me this, combo. So if you get ESPN Plus, you get access to everything except the main card, right?
Yep. Pay-per-view card, you get to see all the prelims, and then you can't see the pay-per-view card.
Okay. So someone like me, right, will be paying probably $40 per fight, because I probably ain't gonna get more than 2 fights ever. You feel what I'm saying, on a pay-per-view card with women. So it's like, for me, this is like, I ain't paying $40 per fight, essentially. Like, that's, you feel me? Like, that just ain't worth it. And there's rarely like, say for instance, a Charles do Bronx, you know, Alexander Volkanovski. I'll watch an Izzy fight. I'll watch if John Jones goes and fights what you call up. You know what I'm saying? Like mainstream. Like I'm basically a casual for the men's and a hardcore for the women's fights.
Right.
But
Yeah.
but yeah, like $80. I can't mess with it, man. I ain't got it like that, bro.
I mean, especially whenever some of the car when the UFC fight night cards actually turning out to be better. Sometimes you're like, well, why do I need to pay for this pay per view? I'm gonna wait for the next Saturday on a Apex card because actually, yeah, like I remember what was it? What was that last pay per view card we had like back in June? Plus the one before that, they were just really like it just turned out to be below average. Everybody was complaining. It was like, man, this price is too high for this average card. And then it was like y'all's UFC fight night cards are turning out to be better. So it was like we should, if we buy ESPN Plus, it was like we shouldn't have to pay for pay per views. And I'm like, yeah, I agree with him, man.
There's probably a number that they could consolidate to. Lower than 75, higher than the 10 a month for UFC
Yeah.
Fight Pass. They could consolidate to even 50. I feel like it'd be a better value.
Yeah,
Just 50 across the board a month.
Yeah.
You get access to everything.
Yeah, they can do that. They just, I mean,
you know, I feel like their money would be slightly better because they'd probably earn more buys that way.
Less pirating. You know what I mean? Less pirating.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like,
yep.
Cause one of the reasons I do it, I ain't gonna lie, cause I can't do live, cause I'm too paranoid and I get too frustrated. Like if I'm on my phone or whatever device and the internet, all of a sudden stuff buffering, and we're watching fights, so all it takes is a split second for someone to get knocked down, submission attempt, whatever. And if I were to ever miss that because of an internet connection, I'm gonna lose my mind. So that's why I'm like, yo, I gotta do whatever I gotta do, find a way to download, do something, man, because I can't do live. That's the only reason why I never watch anybody's like live commentary, because I'm like, yo, as much as I want to, I know my internet is gonna screw up. It's gonna screw me. And I can't deal with that, man. I can't mentally deal with that. I might throw my phone. So yeah, man, that's the real reason only like I would find a way to pay consistently if I could download it and not have to worry about that. But yeah, I don't do movies, none of that, like unless I could, like Amazon Prime is decent because it lets you download and you can watch stuff online. But yeah, man, like streaming it's just, it gets my blood pressure up. I get too frustrated with the dang on circle, man. You know the circle that be in the middle of the screen.
Yeah, that little white circle. Yeah. When you see that, you might well say, "Oh, somebody done got knocked down now."
That's why I can't do it, man.
Man. But yeah, bro. Look, man, it's been a good show, man. I'm about to wrap this thing up, man. Anything you want to say for close this one out, man? Like as far as what's going on your way, as far as what you looking forward to, man.
I can't wait for. Well, first off, thank you for inviting us on the link. Sincerely appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
And me personally, I cannot wait for the 10th. I might even take vacation day for that week, just the whole weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Just in preparation for that fight, man. That's gonna be good.
You need Friday to stretch, and then you need Saturday to watch fight, but then you need Sunday to recover, man. You know.
Right, and then I need Monday because I don't feel like going back to work after enjoying that fight.
Look, all I can say, look, our main event is Shevchenko Fiorot, and yeah, that's how hyped we are. That's all you gotta say, man.
Right, you right, Paul. I ain't trying to put no holes in the walls, man.
All right, man. But look, I'm gonna catch you in the next one. Yeah, when I hit 2 episodes more, 200, man, make sure you come through if you want to jump on for that one. If I don't do it for the live that night, I'll do it for the day after or something. You know.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because alive, you already know my blood pressure can't handle it.
Yeah, I ain't gonna do that to you, man. I'll be like, where'd 2Bs go? You know, passed out. So
Yeah, my internet. I saw that circle and I threw my phone. All right, dude, man. Appreciate you.
yes, sir. All right, man. All right, y'all. Yeah, appreciate everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Always good conversation, man. Shout out to Axel and 2Bs. That was Axel's first time getting on. But yeah, we're gonna definitely be back on tomorrow. Me and BJ gonna be back for round 5 to talk a little trash, you know. But yeah, man, this weekend we got Marina and G-Rob coming up. But man, 2 weeks we got the big one, man. So we're gonna be up here talking. So if anybody else want to get their thoughts on this fight coming up, whether it be Grasso Silva or Shevchenko Fiorot, you know, come on over. We're gonna talk about it. So don't be afraid. This is how we do, right? So just go ahead and subscribe, hit the like if you want to hear tomorrow's show. And if you want to hear us from here on, go ahead and do that. Appreciate that, Paul. Appreciate y'all. On that note, Combo Breaker 99, I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.